Hello everybody, I'm Jason Kwan. I'm a board member of the ISM, and today I'd like to share some thoughts with you, but they're more like lessons learned along my journey on some of the difficulties of indirect sourcing, or sourcing of indirects, or procurement of indirects. The challenges that we often face working in the world of indirects is we hear the same story, lack of engagement, we don't get involved early on. How do we become a business partner with our stakeholders? How do we deal with a business unit that's not cooperating? And I think, these are all experiences that all organizations go through. All of us who've worked a long time in this field, in procurement or sourcing, we've all encountered this. So it's not something that, if you're experiencing this, don't panic, basically. We've all gone through this, yeah, and we can panic together, but don't panic alone. I think one of the things that I've learned is the definition of success and what our notion of success is. So, what do I mean by that, and why is that important? So when we talk to somebody and we're trying to persuade somebody to do something, when they don't want to do something, they have a good reason for not doing something, okay? If they don't want to do something, it's not because they want to be awkward with us or with me as the person. They have a good reason for it. Now, often, the reason is that they don't see what we're proposing as successful for them. That's not their definition of success. Often we approach our work and we think about, okay, this is what I've got to do, this is what success looks like for me. We don't often think about what does success look like for the other person across the table. So this whole notion of success, if we assess the notion of success, I think that's a very important first step. And by understanding what success means to the other person, we start to look at things differently. When we listen to what the other person is saying, we hear things differently. It forces us to be a bit more flexible. It forces us to come up with alternative solutions. It forces us to have a dialogue and to start the conversation. And that is a kind of a soft skill. We talk about soft skill and how to engage people. And I think we sometimes don't start the process by thinking about the notion of success as seen by the other people. Because we don't start that. We go straight into the discussion. Oh, what about this project? What if we do this for you? What if we buy that for you? We can save you this money. But the notion of success for the other person could be the user experience. It could be the customer experience. It could be the building of the brand loyalty, the loyalty to the brand or customer loyalty. Maybe, cost saving is not the measurement of success. And we go in there and we talk about cost savings. You're not going to have the dialogue. You're not going to be a business partner when you approach it like that. Yeah? So the notion of success is important. Another thing that's I think that's important is how we work. What you do and how you do it. The what you do, we're all pretty good at that because that's a technical skill, right? So what we do, it could be how do we cost something, following the 7-step process, following the strategic sourcing model. All that is what we do. Do we globalize the procurement of IT or buying laptops or facilities or whatever? That's what we do. How do we do it? How do we do it is not something that we generally think about very often. And yet, how we do things is fundamental to getting things done, right? So, broadly speaking, how we do things, there is the yes man approach, Everything is yes, yes, yes. There's the maverick type of approach. That doesn't go down too well either. Yeah. There's the mandating approach. Good luck with that one, trying to get that done. I think that these days the business model around the world these days is you want to make people P&L responsible. So whether it's a business unit or a country or a division, they are responsible for P&L. If the person is responsible for P&L, it's a bit unfair if you mandate that you're going to do your procurement for him and he doesn't really have any control of that cost, and that cost affects his P&L. So you're not going to find corporate or head office being very willing to mandate. Yeah. So you don't really get that. Collaboration is the big thing, of course. Building consensus, seeking compromise, collaborating. That really is what you need if you're working in indirects. Okay. So that leads me back to being a thought leader, thought leadership. People talk about it a lot. I've been in many appraisals and they've said, well, you're not very good at thought leadership. What you've contributed in your thinking to save mankind and all that sort of stuff, right? But nobody actually ever tells you what are the few things that you have to do to be good at thought leadership. Because what happens is, we wake up every day, we lead a normal life, it's a day-to-day activity, we have regular behaviors, and we don't think about behaving in such a way that we apply thought leadership to our daily tasks. Yeah? So if you want to be a business partner, the mandating doesn't work, right? Because if you're a business partner, you don't tell. You should use a lot of advocacy, you persuade, you build consensus, and you have to do what you say. And where does the thought leadership come in then? I said earlier about the notion of success. Yeah? So this notion of success is the other person's notion of success. When you understand that, like I said earlier, you will start to think about how you would do things differently, how you would seek a different solution so that you can contribute to the other person's success. And that is a real practical way of demonstrating thought leadership. Yeah? So what I say then is really two key drivers on really improving your soft skills. Think about the notion of success as seen by the other person, and think about using that to drive your thought leadership, thinking differently, thinking about different solutions. Yeah? Now, there are many, many things that drive success. And I'm just saying that these are the two things that I have found very useful for myself, and I've seen these working for other people. Yeah? So, two little nuggets from my experience. I think that's two nuggets on the soft skill, right? I would also say that in my experience, that this is hard work. Yeah? Knowing it is one thing, and I think I haven't really said anything here that is new or that you haven't heard of before. You know this, right? You actually know this. So the question is, we know it, but how come it doesn't become part of our normal behavior? How come it doesn't become us on a day-to-day basis? Yeah? And I think I still struggle with this, and unless I try and think about this and work on this on a daily basis, not so much daily, but on a continuous basis, I have no chance of making this part of my normal behavior. It is only by this hard work of continuously trying to do it that makes it into a behavior, and when it becomes a behavior, then it is something that you can do successfully over time. Yeah? So I think to finish off, think about every time you start a new job or you get given a new challenge, think about that excitement that you have, right? That is new, you want to learn what's going on, you want to succeed, and it is that learning process that gives you the passion, right? And that drives your success. So what I'm saying is, you know, adopt that lifelong learning process, maybe not adopt, rekindle the fire for this lifelong learning on your soft skill to help you in procurement, and that's one way we're all going to lift the professional standards of supply management. So those are my thoughts on this for today. Thank you.